Well, very good evening, one and all, and welcome along to the Studio Rats Q&A Live number 117. Hang on a second. I believe this is how it's done. Oh,
Bravo.
My name is James Ivy.
And I'm not Paul Drew.
But
where is he? What's he up to?
Follically challenged as well, mate.
Yeah, I did quite a reasonable body double version of Paul, although he's got about... He's marginally taller than I am, aren't he?
Yes. Paul, I believe, is sunning it up in Bonny Island.
Yes,
with
indeed.
those lovely people from Emerald Stars.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, to be fair, he's palming it off as quote unquote work, and he's taken the Mrs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope that's gin as well.
Well, I was going to say it's work in the same way that this is water. Honest gov. No, obviously we don't condone unresponsible drinking. This is actually water.
But this is completely responsible drinking. So cheers.
Yes, yeah, you're fine. Chin chin, one and all. Thank you for joining us. We will, as ever, do our best to navigate our way through gear news, your questions, and all things studio ratty.
However, it wouldn't be a TSR Q&A live if it didn't start with the words, Mr. Gregoire, what have you been up to this week?
I
know one of the things you've been up to because you spent it here.
Not quite. Yes, we had a lovely day down at Location Recordings last Thursday, wasn't it?
Thursday, yes.
Where Jivey, myself, and our two erstwhile colleagues had a first physical meetup in that new project setup, and we shot a bit of promo, made some noise, had a good old chat, and it was exciting. It was nice. It was nice to be in a room playing music with humans, because I don't do enough of that as I would like to, as I suspect a lot of us are still in that scenario post-COVID, aren't we? So that was pleasant. But the fact that what we arrived thinking was going to happen quickly became something else that we all think is very positive was also exciting. It's nice to be involved in a project that gets the old hairs on the back of the neck going, rather than just, here we are doing some work. So yeah, that was good. That was good. That was the most significant musical aspect of my, or physical musical aspect of the week. I've got a gig with my uni buddies lined up at the beginning of next year, which we have started the long and laborious process of organising the set for. We're going to do a Britpop review, and I've already written the set list. I just haven't told them what it is yet. I'm letting them think that they've got some sort of say in it. And then I will point out where they are perhaps not as right as I am. And we'll end up doing what I organised a couple of days ago one evening. So that'd be nice. And then the other significant thing that I've done this week is kill my car. Cleo is deeply... No. She is not a happy gal. Currently residing 2 counties that way. And causing a bit of strife. And hilariously, after it packed up, I borrowed a friend's Land Rover to get back to pick the kids up from school. And in the course of returning that, I made that stop working as well.
Oh no!
So yeah, I'm having all manner of fun with 4-wheeled objects. But there we go. It's all part of life's rich tapestry, isn't it?
Oh,
anyway, mate. What have you been up to, old chap? Other than parts of Thursday last week.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Say Thursday was really good. I always like being in that situation where you don't think you're the strongest musician in the room. And then you find out that everyone else is playing that game and you're all playing catch up. And all that actually happens is the level of musicianship goes in the room. And it's awesome. There was a lot of challenge. And I like that. I don't just like to go, we're going to play Superstition again, because we've done that about 10 gazillion times.
And that's not to say that there isn't a place for Superstition.
But not in the new band, which is very exciting. And I completely second the fact that we thought it was going to go one way and very quickly realised that while that direction would have been perfectly civilized, it wasn't the best use of
the assembled
assets.
parts. Yeah.
So that was good. Friday then became trying to piece together all the stuff we'd filmed on Thursday. And I've actually got nearly 1.5 terabytes of video and audio from that day. I think we had 14 cameras up. So, if we can't get a 2-minute demo out of that, we're really in trouble.
Yeah, we thought we were.
Yeah. Then Monday, singer from that band, the new band, came over to finish another project with me. We've now done all the lead vocals and the BVs. That was very cool. And that will launch in the next few days. I have to be a little bit careful because obviously Mum's the word on that project at the moment. And I'd love to say when we launch, it will all be finished, but I don't think that's quite going to be the case. And then today, some of you may be aware of the little microphone project I'm working on with AIM Audio. And one of the directors came over today and we tried out a new product in the audio range. So that was quite exciting as well. We all went, well, like I would do. I went, let's put it on drums then. Let's put it on guitars then. And they all went, what? Now you're actually going to try it? I went, there's no point just looking at it. So yeah, did loads of recording with the new thing, and when
first impression,
this is very good.
Excellent.
And it's always dangerous. So because I've worked with so many. This is not me bragging. This is not showing off. But I've worked with so many companies over the years as a product specialist, or as demo guy, or as the guy that what gets to make it sound good. You become very. I'm trying to think what the right word is, but you become very kind of another. The truth is, in modern times, a product has to really stand out above the rest. Now, it either has to stand out because of its features.
Yep.
It has to either stand out because of its sonic qualities, or it has to stand out because of its price.
Okay.
And if you can get two of those three, you are onto a winner. And I think we're onto a winner with the new thing.
Good.
So that was good. And I'd completely forgotten that I was going to do that today. So that was a bit kind of, you're coming now. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'll just put the kettle on.
Yeah. I'll put the car keys down then and I'll not pop out. But yeah, really, really good week. Very busy week. Hopefully it will calm down a bit in the next week. Tomorrow I'm driving to Nearly Bath to not pick up anything from an auction house or anything that I didn't win last week.
No. Definitely not getting another car full of winnings.
No. So yeah, busy week and another one of those coming, which is great. Should we dive into some comments and questions from you, the great unwashed?
Yes, let's have at it.
Here we go. Boom.
Nabs, good evening, rats, and hope all things are cool and running smoothly. Cheers. Well, yes, by virtue of the fact that it's not Lee and I left to our own devices, and James actually knows what he's doing, it is indeed going to run, touch wood, relatively smoothly this evening.
I'd never actually go that far and admit it out loud, but yeah, it was Paul going, I'm not going to make it. It's really busy. And well, it was more like this, wasn't it? It wasn't so much phone, it was more thumbs. Greg, you're about. If anybody fancies joining us, I've posted links so you can join us in the show. Of course, please do make sure you're somewhere vaguely quiet and
wearing clothes.
Not naked. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how we thought the same thing. So just scroll down there. Boom. There we go.
Daniel, good evening, everyone, from a sunny and warm 27 degrees, North Carolina. Hello to North Carolina. Now, I haven't spent enough time observing the names of the rap fans. Has Daniel's guitar been discussed in dispatches previously?
Not that guitar, no. That looks like a P90 Telly with
a Bigsby. Now, somebody, when Lee and I were doing this the other week, was asking about a P90 option that wasn't crazy money. Is that a crazy money option, Daniel, or is it accessible levels of investment? If you'd be good enough to come back to us, we would be very much obliged. Thank you.
Speaking of P90s, although I had to give it back, which I was quite upset about, that Baum guitar I had, which had their own, they look like gold foils, but they're not. They were P90s. That was a particularly lovely guitar for not that much dough.
And they've currently got, I think their sale goes to the end of this month. So yeah, the good people of Scandinavia, they are Scandinavian, aren't they, Baum guys?
They are Danish, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got deals on at the moment. And it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but they do some classic styles or shapes of guitars just with a nice twist to my eye. The aesthetic of what they produce is very nice.
That one I had, that sort of mint greeny color one, was really lovely. I didn't really want to give that back, but at the time, funds were not overly. Yes. When are they?
Well, yeah, quite. Good evening, Al. How are you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Hope all's well. I'm looking forward as well. I'm going to check whilst we're going through these. I'm looking forward to seeing Al's review of the Boss SDE 3000.
Yes. Al, let me know when you're looking at NAMM stuff, because I'm now seriously looking at NAMM stuff. So just to give a heads up.
A heads up. Gary, hello everyone from a wet and windy Manchester. A stereotypical response to that would be, when is it not wet or windy in Manchester? And the northern answer would be, when you can see the Pennines. If you can see the Pennines, it's raining in Yorkshire. And if you can't, it's raining in Lancashire.
Well, there you go. Not being a northerner, I don't actually understand what you just said, but you know.
The Pennines, for you international listeners, are a set of hills that divide two loving counties in the north of England. There we are.
They run down the middle of the country, don't they, pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. Keith, good evening to you. Rats and cats.
Hi.
Hello, Jeff. Greetings from Brisbane, the cultural hub of the known universe. Welcome back to the hot seat. I thank you. Hope everybody's alive and well and all that. Yes, Jeff, and while we're at it, let's just have a quick check of the score, shall we? Our Antipodean pal. England hit back to reduce Australia to 172 for 9 in the T20. So that's nice. Perhaps we'll keep an eye on that as the evening progresses, Jeff. Good.
You do realize half the audience took about 20 seconds to work out what you were saying then.
That's English baseball that I'm talking about with Jeff.
English baseball. Surely they have American cricket.
I would hope so, yeah. Okay. James, hello, mate. How are you? Hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Dave, have you got one to hand, James?
Hang on. It's over. Do you know what? I've tried to be organised and tidy up a bit of so much filming. And I realised that I had probably about 50 plectra lying around. Yes, I have. I have one here. There it is.
For anybody who's joining for the first time, please seek out Dave McQuillan's The Highland Plectrum Company shop on reverb.com. His beautiful wares being modelled by Mr. Ivy over there. Yeah, if you've ever thought, what is it that Brian May does with a coin, and I can't do it with a coin myself, just get Dave to give you one that's been shaped correctly. And then try not to rip the top off your wildly expensive acoustic guitar.
Or your Les Paul Gold Top, which will
become a... What were you playing when you destroyed it? Oh, it was just a burst, just a 57 burst, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I've done some recording with that this week, and it sounds amazing on that Dobro I bought. The really, you want bright, woohoo! Yeah,
blimey, yeah, I bet. Nice. Have you showed the people that guitar? It's a magic looking thing, and it sounds great as well.
I mean, I probably have. I'll show them again because it's an awesome thing.
A pal of mine that makes Fender clones and all-round lovely guy got himself one of these things about 10 years ago and said, if you ever see one come up, get it. And I told James about that when this machine, the elections
The problem is, I want to learn to play Romeo and Juliet on it.
Yeah.
But I can't. At the moment, this one is set up. I mean, you could drive a train under those. It's set up as a slide guitar, and that's great, but I can't play slide. So I'm going to take it to Love Gun and get him to sort it out. But I mean, this guitar has clearly never been played. It's
magic.
mint.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted one in the studio because it's a very, I mean, it's a sound you can't fake. You can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
And if I learned to play finger picking properly, sort of, it's like at the moment it's a proper clam.
It is hard work, but well worth it. The noise that thing creates is beautiful. I do enjoy taking that one off the wall when I'm down at Jivey Towers. Anyway, we digress, as is my want.
Boom!
Distant Sun, hello. Is it Matt from Distant Sun?
It is Matt, I believe. Yes.
Hello, Matt. Hope you're well. Happy Wednesday to you as well.
Funky Pace is in the house.
Hello, Funky. That Mexican guy in USA. Good evening, guys. Greetings from Indiana. Hello. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed the lively debate last night. I watched that this morning when I got up on Fox. That was fun and games. And before we go any further, let's not do politics. We won't side either. We won't go on either side of the fence.
That really big fence that divides Mexico and.
Moving on swiftly. Farid, hello. Good evening to you.
That's a rather lovely guitar.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Chris, hello, mate. Hope all's well at your end. The lesser spotted Mr. Steve Cassidy guitar. I am literally filling your seat, Steve. You were supposed to be doing this, and now you're there.
I reached out to Mr. Cassidy and got nothing back. Nothing at all. Absolute unbelievable. It was like I was ghosted.
Well, that's because you're not Jimmy Cassidy. You haven't got the glasses and the hat.
I can do Scottish. I've got Scottish blood running through my veins. Hey, no, I really can't.
Hello, Steve. Hope you're all right, mate. Keith, when you work for yourself, it's amazing the stuff you can get away with under the banner work. Also, on top, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes.
Work's a very dirty word.
Yes. Cleaning out that lead cupboard or the microphone bin. There we are. Andy, good evening, Rap fans. What has Andy got there?
Oh, that looks like
Is that one of those Petrucci jobs?
It does look a bit like a Majesty, doesn't it? Or even a JP6, one of the more conventional Super Straight type things.
Yeah.
With one of those what they call it, pearlescent paint jobs, where it's green one way and lemon. Yes.
Pleasant.
That goes in the room. Careful. Careful. Stand by your beds.
Evening all.
And all together now. 3, 2, 1. Willie!
Hello, mate. Good evening. I love that he's got the logo. It's brilliant, isn't it? Al, if there's any consolation, my car is dead as well. Yes, that one. Really? Oh, dear. No, it's not because of electric, James. Software issue, honestly. Al Lynn's that runs on a battery rather than fossil fuel. And bless him, it's gone kaput. It's not ideal, is it? Oh, go retro like I did, Al. Drive a 21-year-old Clio until it stops moving, of course.
Hey, I think I've received the SPAF factor for my new wagon.
What?
SPAF, the spousal approval factor.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. On the grounds of what?
There's not much else available.
Wait, you haven't had that other one that long, have you? Is it just the end of the lease?
It'll be 3 years next December.
Blimey.
So to get the one I want in December, I'll have to order it this December.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking. It's looking good. I might be able to get the burnt orange Transit Crew Cab Custom with
Sweet.
all the lowered and
Yeah,
slightly
yeah, yeah.
Gary Boyd up.
All the bits and the things.
Yeah.
Tasty.
I mean, it'll
Well,
still be a van, but it'll be a cool van.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Scent of a wheelchair pillow. Hello to you on the other side of the pond. Do you guys follow vintage pre-CS CBS Strat values? No, I do not. Been dreaming of getting one. Lots of variables, original pickups, pick guards, refin, etc. Any advice? By the way, click thumbs up, everyone. Absolutely right. Scent of a wheelchair pillow. I did that when I clocked that James had set the stream up earlier. If you would all be good enough to do that, it will help Paul and James keep the algorithm monkeys at YouTube Towers appeased, which helps the cause massively. Back to the question. No, I'm afraid I just on the grounds of I will never, short of a lottery win, get anywhere near a vintage Strat of any significance. The closest I would even begin to contemplate bothering to start saving up for would be a player grade of some ilk. So no, I'm afraid I can tell you nothing more than you probably already know in regards to as soon as it has had anything changed on it, chances are the value has just been slashed quite significantly. If anybody else has got any thoughts that they can share with Scent of a Wheelchair Pillow, please pile in the comments.
I would dive in with two things. Firstly, is it a guitar you're in love with? Because if it is, all bets are off anyway. Secondly, is it a guitar you're ever going to sell? Because if it's a guitar you're going to sell, all those things are important. If it's not, again, all bets are off. I can't remember the CBS year, the acquisition or the set buy or sale, whatever year. Greg's currently tippity tapping on a thing called the internet to tell me the year, but a lot of people get hung up on it.
65.
65.
In 65.
Right. So that's an old guitar. That's a lot of dough. That's an awful lot of dough. There was a 63 on the GH auction a year or so ago. That, I mean, get this. Jen was saying, "Have you got the money? Is it worth it?"
Wow.
And I think they were expecting 20, and it didn't make 13.
Wow. Okay. So there were bits of a 63 Strat left on it then, presumably.
Yeah. But again, is it a guitar you're buying as an investment, or is it a guitar you're buying to play? Because they are two very different things. And Paul and I feel very strongly that you shouldn't buy guitars to put them in cupboards and never see them.
Definitely.
Guitars should be played. But I don't think Paul or I have ever started going down the road of serious vintage guitars.
No.
Because that's a game we can't afford to play. I certainly can't afford to play.
No, I think Paul's line of he gets as far as custom shop Fenders and things of that ilk and plays them, gigs them, is the right way.
Yeah.
Is there really that much more that you're going to get? People wax lyrical about how wonderful vintage instruments are, and they might give you an extra something intangible. But I think Paul's about right.
I saw a Gibson Les Paul Gary Moore Lemon Burst the other day, the Gary Moore signature.
Yeah.
3,999. I was like, oh, that's
yeah.
It's right on the verge of. I mean, it's about what they're worth at the minute. But that's a beautiful thing of beauty. And
yeah, I do like a Lemon Burst. Yeah, pleasant. Whilst it's in my mind, Scent, if you are that way inclined, I would love to know how you conceived of your soundproof studio in an apartment. I think that is a delightful undertaking on your part. Did you dream it up yourself? Did you get third parties to help with the design in terms of soundproofing, acoustics, and all the rest of it? If you're inclined to share any knowledge with us on that front, it would be interesting to, I suspect, more than just James and I. Al, yes, fine. Which EV do you have? I won't go any further than just saying Jag.
He has to. Yeah, no, you have to go.
Jag.
And yeah, it's an I-Pace, and it's a very nice car when it goes.
When it's done.
Des Halliday says, "Hiya, Des."
Hey, Des. Sorry, the internet. The dog requires a bit of fresh air, as it were. Nice, I guess. Don't know too much about it. Well, that is the Iconic 6 with the silly wing camera things. The Ionic, which is a Hyundai, isn't it? Pleasant looking vehicle. Right, you do the next one so I can let the dog out before it gets mardy.
So, talking to P90s, says Keith Milner, did the Rats get a chance to try the Revster on their recent European tour? I don't know. I do know, however, that in a couple of weeks, Paul is off to the Guitar Summit in Mannheim, Germany.
Yes.
He's practically moving to Germany, isn't he?
He needs a second home there, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, that is moving in with Henning, and he hasn't told his wife yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's move on.
Two sexy, follically challenged men moving in together in Das Germany. Yeah. If he turns up back from the next trip with what they called Lederhosen,
I think he's doing his best to make sure that the steins are empty. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Why did I do Sean Connery when you said steins? Yes.
Gary, I can't see it raining anywhere because I'm blind. It was sunny yesterday, though. Fair enough, Gary. Fair enough. Danny, right, here we go. My birthday guitar, Reverend Greg Gristle Knight. Right, yeah, fair enough. I can't see the magic button with the booster in it. Yeah. Retail 18, yeah, acquired it from James Price. The James Price. Well batted, Daniel. Well batted. Nice. I didn't know they did one with the Bigsby on it.
So yeah, you all rip the you-know-what royally about the James Price, but it works. I just hope you went into the music shop and said, "Can I have the James Price, please?"
Brilliant, wasn't it? There's the t-shirt. There's the next Studio Rats t-shirt.
If it became a music shop legend, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, nice. Goofball, T20 isn't real cricket. You're absolutely right. If they're wearing pajamas, it's not real, is it? Whites or bust, to my mind.
Well, and it's got to take 5 days, and there'll be beer involved.
Exactly, and
for the viewers, not the players, perhaps.
Keith, I was up in Glasgow at the weekend, and the weather there was glorious. Meanwhile, thunderstorms and yellow weather warnings down south. Yes, it's been wildly changeable around these parts this week. You can imagine, I contemplated putting the heating on today. I mean, I didn't, obviously, but
I mean, I had to put a hoodie on.
Yeah,
because it's cold.
Free heating, isn't it? You can't go wrong.
I'm getting quite concerned that either we live in a nanny state these days where they keep pumping out these yellow weather warnings.
Yeah.
Or the weather's getting worse.
It changes, you know. I was talking.
It changes like the weather. I mean,
who'd have thought it? I was talking to a friend's kid the other day who was astounded to learn that when I was at primary school, when the snow came and the school was closed and the buses weren't running, we were simply told, "Go home now," because in the last millennium, kids in single figures were perfectly fine walking around 5 and 6 miles in any direction without adult supervision, where these days there'd be front page news, wouldn't it, if that kind of thing went off? As you say, nanny state. Anyway, let's not get political, dear, as usual. James is back. Couldn't agree more, goofball. Although cricket is nonsense. Well, absolutely. 5 days, potentially without a result at the end of it. But yeah, at least you get to stay hydrated.
Cheers. Yes. It's been a while since I've been to the cricket.
Yes, yes. Keith Jivey always wanted Dober in the studio so he could check his.
You'll clearly realise that I don't spend as much time checking my hair as everybody thinks I do. It's like this in the morning, and that's me done.
Yeah, Jeff. After not being a fan of Vox for decades, I bought an AC30 C2X top boost 2x12 Alnico Blues, the correct speaker to my mind. It's about 4,000 kilometres away in Perth, but it will be starting its journey across Australia soon. Excellent, Jeff. I look forward to hearing how you get on with that.
Mate, Perth's a lot further from Australia than 4,000 kilometres.
It's Jeff's on the.
No, I meant Perth, Scotland.
Oh right, yes, fair enough. Enough. Just get Steve to deliver it; it'll be fine.
Now, at this point, I mean, now, are you ready for this?
We're not, are we?
Are you ready for this?
We're not, are we?
We're going to have to put subtitles down the bottom, I think.
He's not, is he?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all the way from Bonnie, Scotland, Mr. Steve Cassidy.
Hello.
There he is. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. Yourselves? All good?
Yeah, tip top. Thank you. Tip top. Nice to see you.
Many apologies, Jivey. I just seen your message right now after you'd said that.
Just there's nothing there, mate. There's nothing there. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. I've been enjoying yours and Mr. Drew's content from Gear Street.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. It's a great laugh. Paul's a great laugh, so he is in real life.
Don't say that.
On the videos, like watching him, it's like boring as anything. But
yeah.
I'm joking. Great laddie. Good stuff. But I just want to apologise again because Paul asked me to cover for him again. Was it last week or the week before?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, last week he had a tooth out and was a big girly word.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Right. It was one of the two.
This week he's decided he can't get to a laptop or a phone because he's been suddenly taken drunk.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah. So what happened to me is that I'm not a big fan of this sounds stupid. Not a big fan of social media. Yeah, YouTube channel guy. So I've never really had been at Facebook, but I've got this kind of covert Facebook page that I use for buying and selling gear.
Yeah.
And that was the one that I got added to the Gear Street group chat stuff with. Right. And in the middle of that, I started another Facebook page, which is a more official Steve Cassidy guitar one. So but I'm always wanting to see what's going on in that group chat. So I'm logged into that one and not the other one. So that's the reason for that. Apologies.
I was quite shocked when I thought, hang on, there's only 87 people have subscribed to this one. What's going on?
That's it. I'm new. I don't know much about it. Not a big fan of the Facebook.
We're surviving. You're here now. Do you want to hang around for a bit and join in the fun?
Yeah, I just felt guilty. I thought I should come on and explain myself.
Right.
Play.
Where are you on the AC? Where are you on the AC30 debate? Because obviously it was never one of my favorite amps until I bought that one and went, oh.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot take. So I don't know if I've played a real AC30, possibly, but I think I have actually in a rehearsal studio one time, and I always found them quite bright. They have a bright switch, quite jangly, and I would use a Strat, but I never really taken with them too much. But my main gig rig, I'm ampless, and I use the Line 6 HX Stomp XL, and I have a lot of boards set up with the AC30, sorry. So I actually like the modelled AC30 better than my experience with a real AC30.
It's because it doesn't make your ears bleed.
Could be that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing in a band with a guy who had two. And we didn't have to mic him up very often.
No.
Ever.
Yeah,
pub gigs for 2 AC30s. I mean, other than the fact that when he went, I've just lost a valve, you're like every third gig.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
I mean, you get loads of clean headroom, obviously, but the cut through the mix is undeniable, isn't it? It just sits.
You can cut through most windows.
Fair play.
Right. Let's carry. Let's get on through it. There is a ton of news this week, which is rare and good. Here we go. Oh God.
Good evening, Lee. You good-looking pair. Well, it's trio now. It's got triple vision.
Yeah,
we are.
It's all good.
Covering all the bases. Full head of hair, no head of hair, full face of hair. What else do we have? Ryan, favorite low wattage affordable tube amp for home. What do you class to be low, Ryan? So we've been talking Vox. Have you contemplated an AC15? Not the same as a 30, but again, might be viable at that level. Do you currently have tube amps that you really get on with? And this is not answering your question directly, but if you really get on with one and you've got money that you might otherwise spend on a smaller amp, have you thought about just buying a 2-note Captor X or an aux box or similar and using your current favorite amp at a volume that is acceptable in a residential setting? There you go.
I would say having bought one secondhand, and it started the chat with Dennis Cornell at Cornell Amplification. That Plexi 7 was a mind-blowingly good little amp. But let's not pretend that 7 valve watts is quiet.
Nope.
Because it ain't. 7 watts at full tilt, doing what 7 watts of valves wants to do is still rip your face off territory. Run it through an aux or the Captor X or pick your load box.
Yep. Steve, any particular low watt favourites?
No, well, I just thought the same thing as you. I mean, low watt valve amp to me used to mean things like something like a Blues Junior or something like that, you know, or the Pro. What was it called? The other one, the smaller one, the Pro something, the other wee Fender one. But for at home use, you're talking like something that you can go to like 1 or 5 watt mode, don't you? If you want to get the sort of benefits of that valvey sound at home, unless you're talking about the alternatives, the modern techie things.
I had, when I was, I think my first valve amp, when I was 13, 14, was an original 70s-esque silver face Fender Champ. And I sold it for 20 quid.
Oh. What did you buy with the 20 quid?
A beer or a date with a girl or something.
Madness. Absolute madness.
That's a 4-figure amp now.
It is. You'd be a fool. Ryan, even, have you thought about, when we're talking affordable, you can on eBay and similar pick up Marshall Origin 20s for relatively peanuts, and they've got a mid and low power setting. The low power setting really is a low power set. I can't remember if it's 0.5 watt or 1 watt, but I find that I'm sat there listening to the sound of the guitar strings acoustically just as much as I am the amplified sound.
But remember, folks, just because it has a low power setting, that does not mean it's dropping the volume by half. It's dropping the headroom. If you don't get to 1 watt of power use because you haven't turned it up far enough, it's not going to change anything. It's just changing the headroom.
Yep.
Moving on. It turns out that there's this bloke who's jumped in. Right.
Behind us.
Was that out of order? I didn't even see what Shagger said in the first place.
I don't know either. If he was
It must have been.
possibly. Yes. All right. Just yes.
Gaza, he's back. What do you guys think of Chauvel guitars? I've got a Pro Mod SoCal 1, and it has the most beautiful feeling neck. Yes, Steve, have you got something on the wall at the moment?
I do. I'm just worried because I'm wired in my ears. I don't know if I can reach over there to get it. I could try. I'll go try and grab it. Right, bear with me.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had a Sandemus that was beautiful. Bright, vivid orange.
Right.
I think he probably still has it. Fantastic guitar.
Here we go.
And it's gonna be what color? Green.
Blue.
Green.
Light blue.
Green.
Blue wins. Blue's the winner.
Oh, look at that. It's lovely.
Okay, right. Reversed mini humbucker, right.
Nice.
Access for the truss rod up at the top there. Very good.
Lovely.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? And what do you make of it, Steve? Oh, that's pleasant, isn't it?
Look at the neck. Oh, look at that. Roasted maple neck. Of course.
Yeah, roasted maple. It's almost perfect. I do absolutely love this guitar. I got it used for a great price. Love the colour and all that kind of stuff. Good for the tubes.
Yeah.
HSS is my favourite. This guitar sort of introduced me to so much. So the Goto 510 trim, I was never aware of that before. This is now my favourite trim ever. I've put it on like 3 guitars since.
Really?
I don't love the pickups. They're a bit sort of hot for me, but it's got the no load on the tone. I'll tell you about the switching, because the switching's amazing. You ready for this? So obviously in position 1 you've got your humbucker, so hum cancelling. Position 2, no arguments there, yeah. Position 2, you've got hum cancelling. That's what I forgot to mention actually. It's the neck pickup that's RWRP.
Okay.
Rather than the middle. This is what makes it cool. So in the middle position, you've got neck and bridge. So there's no middle pickup option. Super duper usable. And then position 4, you've got the usual position 4, usual position 5. So the only one that's actually noisy, which isn't even that noisy, is the neck pickup. So for gigging, it's like the perfect gigging guitar.
Yeah. Can you split the coil? Is there a pull?
No. I could probably get that easy, modded easy enough, but I don't have that on this, no. But that would be good, additional extra.
Nice.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it, I love the actual neck profile at the back. It's just slightly thinner than a modern C, but I'm not a fan of flat radius, and it's 12 to 16, so that's not too comfy for me. But I just can't bring myself to part with it because it's just such an awesome guitar that I rarely play.
Yep.
That's it.
Nice.
So yeah, I love Chauvel's.
Yeah, well, there you go, Gary, from the horse's mouth. James, centre of a wheelchair pillow. My goodness, that's some name. Yes, it is one of my favourites whenever it crops up on any of these chats. Andy, I've got a Made in America 98 Strat here and a newly built parts sourced and assembled parts caster. And to be honest, the difference, the noticeable difference is negligible. Who'd have thought it? So what does that tell us about American Strats at the back end of the last millennium? And just the explosion in I don't know, maybe the last 10 years? Is that about accurate? People knocking guitars together themselves? It's so easy to do now, isn't it? There's so many things readily available, resources readily available of, I can get some pots from here, I can get some pickups from there. Great, good for you, Andy, to have actually done it to the point where you are getting close as close as you are to what Fender have been trying to figure out for the last 70-something years.
Right. So the video that Paul and I shot for this guitar has never made the light of day.
Oh,
because we're in step 2 yet, have you?
Well, I'm not. Well, no, but the initial video has never made light of day. So I picked this guitar up at the auction for one reason. That center pickup was wound by one Abigail Ybarra. And if you know anything about pickups, and I didn't, she was, I think it's a was rather than an is, one of the sought after Fender pickup winders of the day. Now, as a guitar, this thing is great. It's a kind of wants to be a Gilmore-esque relic, and if I keep it moving quickly, you go, that's a really nice Strat, and you go, oh, it's this relic, really, it looks great. And if I keep moving it really quickly, you think, oh, it's fantastic. The neck is a American. I think
so. It's Mexican.
No, it's an American neck,
right?
And it feels great. The pickup configuration is a bit weird. It's got that kind of weird Gilmore switchy thing that we're not entirely sure what it does. But whoever did the relic job is a moron. It was done with a Phillips screwdriver. You can't relic a plastic finish. It's
looking like that.
It's horrific. So I keep going, I'm going to buy an American body, an older body, and transfer everything over into another, make it a full parts caster. Because let's face it, the Black Strat was a parts caster. And how much did that go for, boys and girls?
Yeah.
But the problem is, this is such a great feeling and sounding guitar, even though it looks like an absolute bag of spanners. I'm really loath to do it.
Yeah. I still think the next step is to take that to see Gunn as well. Steve, the wonderful chap at Guitar Lodge. Let him work, put his magic hands on it, and then decide if you can be bothered to change the body.
Yeah.
It looks like a bag of spanners, but it sounds like heaven. Not for
it's a classic case of I don't actually care what it looks like because it plays so fantastically. And I say, I'm no Paul Drew. I'm not guitarist first call. I'm drummer first call. But I know what I like.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play.
What about a refinish? No.
Well, Paul said that, strip it down, but I'm not sure whether the body's worth it.
It probably won't be if it's a black guitar. Chances are it's not going to be the prettiest of woods.
Yeah, I'd
But
rather.
you never know.
I could pick up a new body, fully finished, swimming pool routed body for about £300-400 quid. It's going to be more than that in time to get it all back and refinish it. So it's, as you say, probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But maybe see what we can do.
Andy, have you got any particular highlights from your parts caster in terms of sources from whence you bought relevant parts? If there's anything that the assembled masses would benefit from having a look at, just drop it in the comments for us. And congratulations on a parts caster, well done, Jeff. Something to consider with pre-CBS is that they were really just guitars made in a factory by factory workers. They could be hit and miss. Sure enough, yeah. If we had the money to buy a vintage guitar, I'd actually save money by getting a master built that's guaranteed to be extraordinary and built by someone who's on top of their game.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, point well made.
As I say, I'm never going to get into the vintage game shy of a lottery win, so I don't want to offend people. Set of the wheelchairs back. The soundproof room combined 3 interior closets into a studio. Does it go on? It's got the dot.
Yes. Yep.
Put down 3 layers of floor, mass-loaded vinyl felt, vinyl plank with another sound damp layer. Double thick 5/8 of an inch drywall. I don't know what 5/8. What's that? That's about 12 mil.
Yeah.
It's man measuring though, isn't it? It could be anything. Yeah. How big's Stonehenge?
How big Stonehenge?
5/8 of an inch drywall, drop ceiling to protect the concrete ceiling above. Nice.
And
it's in depth, isn't it? And it works incredibly well. Well batted. Well done. That's
so basically, Centre of a Wheelchair, you've gone for variation in mass, which is the key. Don't just think, and again, I had it here. Don't just think that it's just going to work. Variation is the key. Variation in mass, variation in thickness, variation in density. That's the key. Confuse those sound waves to hell, because that's what you're trying to do.
Do enough of that when I'm playing the guitar, James.
Hey, there it is.
ISO, the International Standards Organization. You guys talk weird, lol, but great podcast.
That was before I came on, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks, ISO. Oh, here we go. Come to Colorado. I own some Airbnbs in downtown Denver. I'll put you up. You can test it out and try and piss off my nose. Happily. When is the Studio Rats World Tour going to begin? That's the question. And how much time can we spend in Denver? I'll carry the
problem is,
and microphones.
Denver, Colorado. You're not near South by, which is in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You're nowhere near NAMM.
Yep.
You're nowhere near AES. You're nowhere near Sweetwater for Gearfest, which I really want to go to.
But you could do some skiing. So
I can't ski.
Well, yeah, I injured myself quite brilliantly. I decided that the best thing to do was start on a black run and learn that way. Got to the bottom of the mountain, went straight back to the hire shop, put them in on the first day, and spent the rest of the week in the bar.
Sounds
expensive week skiing.
Now that's my idea of après ski.
Keith, I think weather warnings that media outlets are incentivized to report. Yeah, absolutely right. Blame 24-hour news. Great call. Never used to be an issue before because people got on with their lives instead of watching the drivel that's spouted to us on various channels, isn't it? Say the people that try and make money out of the internet. Anyway, we continue. Are you guys Australian? Not this week, no. We have pals in Australia. Jeff's out there. No, Steve is up north of Hadrian's Wall, at the north point of GB, and James and I are in the bit that's nearest Amsterdam, the pointy bit that sticks out the back of the English boot.
Your accent does
it morphs a bit.
Define your Yorkshire roots, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm sort of from halfway between where Steve's from and where James is originally from, but I now live essentially 45 minutes up the road from James. So yeah, a little way away from Australia, but here we are.
However, we are available for that part of the Studio Rat World Tour.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see Jeff while we're there as well, can't we? Hey up, Sir Stevie. There we go.
All right, how are we doing it?
All good. Rocker, Comfort Hurricane. There we go.
Great shout. Yeah, I had a. What was the Comfort I bought? The little one, the Harlequin. That was a great little amp.
Or is it the Romney?
There's a Romney, but I had the Harlequin. The Romney is the Cornford. Sorry, the Romney is the Cornell.
Right. Okay. Bear with.
I had the Hellcat, which was an amazing amp, and I bought the Cornford Harlequin, which was a great little amp. And another one of those, but just because it was a combo, I got rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas if it had been a head, I would have found that a bit more difficult to let go.
Here we go. Right. I'm going to reverb for a Cornford Hurricane. It's massive price drop. Was £1,700, now £1,000. I'm trying to see what size it is. Doesn't say anything about wattage there, though. I don't know how many watts it is.
15
is it 15, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got vintage 30 in the back. But all the same, 15 watts. It's still not a quiet amplifier, is it?
Not when you get it to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. David's in the house. Hello, champions. Just glad to be here. We are glad to have you, David. Welcome aboard.
Me too.
Gary, mine's Orange Blaze. What were we talking about as Orange Blaze?
Is that maybe going to Colorado?
Yeah. No, probably. No, Chevelles.
Okay,
Probably.
cool.
That would be my guess.
Sounds like a Chevelle colour.
Yeah.
Since back, did I mention recreational marijuana is legal here? Come out and put you on a scholarship. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Scholarship.
Let's relax and enjoy some music, gentlemen. Rocker, get an MJT. What's that? Made in
Japan.
Japan T? That would be MIJ, wouldn't it? MJT.
Yeah.
Or a Fender.
Could be something else.
That's road worn body.
Road worn, yeah. I've seen all of those, and the road warns are not that, 300-400 quid. What's the place in Sheffield, the music shop that we won't buy from again? But
it's not Rich Tone, is it?
It is Rich Tone, yes. Rich Tone have got a load of bodies in.
Have they?
So I'm like, well, we're going to be there in a couple of months, so maybe I'll pop in and see what we got.
So many places. Northwest Guitars do them. All manner of spots on eBay do them at peanuts. Yeah. Don't know, what the moral grounds are for buying something as cheap as that.
Have any of you?
His choice, wouldn't they?
Yeah, not for the UK, unfortunately. Warmouth's a bit expensive for the taxes and shipping for us, isn't it?
True enough.
But have any ever come across on eBay or Facebook HZ guitars, HZ guitars?
HZ for our American listener.
Yes. They seem decent spec, I think, and they look like they'll fit most things. But they've got a lot of cool finish options. I'm looking at quite a few just now. There's like a thin line telly that's like the blue flower, and there's like a pink paisley Jazzmaster body in that. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about parts casting up something like that. Yeah, that's it. That's the stuff.
Lovely.
Tasty. Yeah. And what are they asking? 80 quid. I mean, how do they make the profit? How do they make money?
I don't know if they do. So I think they're based in the UK, but I'm pretty sure the guitar bodies are not coming from there. But I could be.
No, not for 80 quid. They're not.
Manchester. They're in Manchester. Whereabouts are they getting them from the Far East to be flogging them in Manchester for 80?
Yeah, that's it.
Surely Manchester's the far west.
Move on. Dear me. Nectarius, how are you? Opinions on Gretsch guitars? I just love the way they play and sound. Yes, I've never had one. A friend of mine back up north had one, which I enjoyed stealing whenever I got the opportunity. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I had one at the start of this year. It was my first ever Gretsch experience, and I absolutely loved it. It was a double jet, I think it is. Mm-hmm. So, very cool guitar. I love the sound of it. And I even really like the neck, considering that on the spec of the neck on paper is everything that I wouldn't like, but just loved it for some reason. So I decided to turn my Starcaster into like a Gretsch type thing.
Nice. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the way. That's a decal, which is offensive to a lot of people, the F-hole decal. But yeah, it's kind of in between a Starcaster, a Gretsch, and a Duesenberg.
Right.
Duesenberg bridge on there. Yeah.
Nice.
But I love the Gretsch sound.
Have you gigged that guitar, Steve?
I have. That was
going to be drunk guitar fans just kind of standing there going, has that got a sound hole in it?
Oh yeah, that's it. My fans are usually that sort of into details that they would notice that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a decal, isn't it?
You can always spot the musos at the back, can't you? They're like this, going,
yes,
impress me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did gig it, which was unexpected because it's not really anything I would normally use. I'm usually heavily reliant on HSS Strats for all the sort of a lot of the 80s pop stuff and that we do. I'm pretty sure you guys will know the set list from cover to cover. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to gig something like that, but it worked and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take it out again.
Cool. Andy, UK guitar necks for the flame rusted maple rosewood neck, stainless steel jumbo frets, GA guitar, anatomy guitar, older body finished in candy apple red. Neck was 90 quid. God, body for 150 quid. That's just mental, isn't it? You know what? While it's on screen, I'm going to take a picture of that. My is.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, my telly. I took it to Steve beginning of last year because I was getting a lot of buzz. It's the neck seemed to be twisting. He worked magic with it. But I'm back in the same position where G to high E are once again buzzing for no apparent reason, and I'm wondering if going the whole hog and getting it's a maple neck currently. Should I go roasted maple for a bit more stability? He said, it's a bit drastic changing the neck, mate. Are you sure? So we'll see what you can muster first. But then, I might be investigating UK guitar necks on the basis of Andy's good success with them. We shall see.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, Fender, Gibson, pick your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of wood's a bit of wood. You can get good bits and you can get bad bits.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, with roasted maple, I've tried it a lot. Like I kind of went the whole hog into roasted maple maybe a couple of years ago. So I've had a load of them. I've got like 3 Fender roasted maple necks that I've put on guitars. I've got the Charvel there, that Squire there, called the Reject guitars, Fasley guitars, Harley Benton's. Everything's got roasted maple necks. I totally love it. But I'm not sure about the stability claims that they make about. I mean, I understand what they say. It's like they take the moisture out and crystallizes the sugars and whatnot, and it makes it more rock hard. But I've had fret sprout on all of them seasonally, regardless of the brand. So I don't know what's in it. But personally, I just love the look of it. That's what it is for me, really.
Easy on
the look and the feel. And I don't know if there's anything in it. I mean, I'm not usually a tone wood guy. I don't know if you've ever seen Rhett Shull's video, but he did one where he changed the neck. I think he did maple, rosewood, and roasted maple or something like that. And even although I don't believe in it, I do think that roasted maple sounds brighter.
Okay.
I don't know if it does. It could just be all up here.
There's a lot of... So I'm talking to a company at the moment. I don't want to give the game away. Where I get, and it's not guitars. It's not a guitar world. And Greg will probably know where I'm going with this because you played through it the other day. Where I desperately want to shout to the world that this product makes a difference.
And it does.
But the rest of the world is going to shout back snake oil.
Or boring.
Or boring. Is that actually what they're going to actually shout out? And we plugged a couple of valve amps into this particular... Okay, it's a power platform. Clean power for valve amps. And you know what? Both of us went, hang on a second. Didn't sound like that 5 minutes ago.
But it's one of those tough sells in the same way. I've had 3 conversations that I can think of over the last 20 years with 3 separate individuals of, I'm looking at buying some hearing protection, but I'm just going to get this as opposed to, I'm going to spend a load of money because I want to carry on doing gigs and these things make it a lot easier. Yeah, but it's not as much fun as an overdrive pedal, is it? Or a nice new guitar or an amplifier. So I'm just going to spend peanuts on it and it'll do the thing that James is talking about. It makes a difference. But then, you're into your 80/20s, aren't you? And your ROI, because it is not an insignificant investment.
Well, I looked at the price of that thing today and went, I mean, we're talking Greg, we're talking 4 figures.
It's just mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're in a professional studio. It makes the difference, doesn't it? Average Joe doing... average Joe, I don't want to be derogatory. Someone who is the phrase that's often used on this channel, a weekend warrior, someone who plays the dog and duck every now and then, they're not spending $1,000 on some power, are they? Unless that lottery wins come in or the missus really has no idea what it is that you do with all your money. It's not a shiny, exciting thing, is it? It's a real chin scratching. Oh yeah, very good. It's a cork sniffing changes, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't even want to talk to Paul about it because it'll shut down and go. Sorry, did you say words? Moving on.
Owen, good evening to you. Good evening, all. My first valve amp, a Blues Junior, used it for about 5 mins and had to put it away. Later replaced valve 1 with a 12AY7, which I presume that should say took some of the volume down. Fair play. Yeah, there are tweaks you can do, aren't there, here and there? I don't know. I'm interested. I've never had a small valve amp that I would particularly want to use at home. I normally just piss the neighbours off. Even when using the two notes, I still get it to a point where I don't want to hear the strings of the guitar when I'm playing electric guitar. You know what I mean? I want to hear what's coming out of the amplifier. I can't remember who it was that was asking about a low-powered drum amp, but yeah, I hope we rather have helped rather than just throw more questions at you.
The thing is, when someone says, "Oh, it's a 1 watt valve amp," 1 watt is still really loud.
Watch last Friday's That Pedal Show episode where they used a 0.5 watt thing that's the size of a VHS cassette, and it was still pumping 80 plus dB out on their sound meter. You can make a hell of a lot of racket without a lot of wattage if it's valves.
Yeah. We are at that point. We're at that point where we should do the news. And there's quite a bit to get through. Steve, you are more than welcome to stay for this. But we should, at this point, pay our respects because middle of the week, we lost the creator of, quite frankly, one of the greatest bass lines of all time. Walk on the Wild Side.
Yeah, fair play.
86, it was. I didn't realize. I saw someone explaining it. I think it was the guys from Scott's Bass Lessons who were saying it's 2 basses on that track.
Really?
It's an electric bass going up and an acoustic bass going down. So do 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 do. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Yes, Herbie. So a buddy of mine, he worked with Herbie Flowers many times. A great engineer. Tim, so yes, he'll be missed a great deal. Now, Mr. Gilmore has a new album out. You'd never guess by the amount of social media presence there is at the moment with Mr. Gilmore. Watch all of it because it's brilliant.
There's loads of good stuff. Yeah. Paul and James and I have got a little chat group, and intermittently I've been sending them look at this bit, and he said it's the best album he's made since Dark Side, and watch this one. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, and
the rehearsal videos are great. The band, of course, are awesome. Unexpectedly, I think one of the keyboard players is a real left of center choice. Greg Fillinganes is playing keyboards. Who is arguably one of the greatest session keyboard players of all time. And he's playing in Dave Gilmore's band. And you just go, why not?
Well,
I would.
Yeah.
And there's some great YouTube stuff around about this at the minute. There's a whole the Raconteurs podcast.
Just as an aside, and I'm late to the party with this, but if you do not know the Raconteurs podcast, there are some belting episodes. Do yourself a favour and have a listen. There's some beauty stuff on there.
The only thing I will say, and it hurts me to say this, and I put this in the group yesterday, is that this new album is clearly written for Mr. Gilmore, Sir's current vocal ability. His daughter sings on a couple of the tracks, and she has a voice of an angel. But in the rehearsal footage, he's doing things like Breathe, and his range isn't what it once was.
What age is he now?
He's got to be 80. Got to be.
He's still got better range than I have.
He's looking good.
I mean, he is guitar royalty on another level. I found the 1994 Pulse recording that someone's remastered. I was watching that for 20 minutes going, oh, this was when it was really good. This was when this is the Floyd of old I remember. So, check out all the stuff. The new album is called Luck and Strange, and it's definitely worth checking out. It sounds amazing.
As an aside, or an alternative perspective, I was listening to that rehearsal footage and enjoying the way that he was delivering the renditions of songs that we've been listening to for decades. Just the way that he's adapting or reinterpreting, reimagining, for want of a better phrase. I thought it was really nice. Anyway, there we are.
Now, this is quite interesting because to me, Ashdown has always been a bass amp manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And they've now brought out a range of tube guitar amps.
I've experienced some of their guitar stuff in the past. I had one of their as well, actually, which was quite nice.
And they're not horrendously expensive. You know, the 5-watt version is $729, the 50-watt is $839, and the cabs start at $333. This is all US dollars.
Yeah.
But they 3-channel, they look really cool, I think.
Mm-hmm. And what are they going for in terms of, you know, is it a Fender? Is it a Marshall? Is it a
I think so. The trio of ECC 83s with EL34s. So, well, effectively Fendery, aren't they, with EL34s?
Right.
But
it looks modern.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound it. You know, there was definitely in the video. I thought, oh, that doesn't sound. It doesn't sound, which is what I was expecting it to sound like, but it doesn't. I was quite mildly surprised. I thought that's quite nice. I like that.
Effects look.
I'm gonna say I have no idea. Hang on, there's a picture around this somewhere. That is just the. Hang on. No, it's not. I think there is. Yeah, I think there is.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. That looks like an effects loop.
Interesting.
Yeah, could be an interesting thing. They're not based a million miles from me here.
Yeah, they're not, are they?
No, so I might have to reach out and see if they've got one that they can send me over.
Worth a look.
Now, it's funny because before we go live, we kind of work out what the news is going to be. When Paul just does the news normally, but when Paul is getting wildly drunk on Irish nectar,
doing Guinness quality control. That one's all right. Give me another one. That one's acceptable. One more, please.
We were both going through, and I was going, I've found that one already. I found that one. Do you know what? I'm not. That picture looks horrendous. They look awesome.
That's because of the headstock.
Exactly. The Explorer headstock, isn't it?
Sorry, carry on.
This is the Gibson Victory model, which apparently hasn't been seen for 40 odd years. That green looks awesome. I think
in the absence of Paul, I'll say it, dear viewer, don't worry. You're a wrong un.
But like that, I don't like it. Like that, it looks shocking.
I think it's got like a Tim Burton Batman vibes to it.
It has a bit, hasn't it? Yeah, that's a good shout.
Remember the Batwing?
Yeah.
I
preferred it with a reverse headstock.
Yeah, I mean, $2,000.
Yeah, not for me.
It's a lot of.
You can get an Epiphone for that.
Well, and you found that the wooden the figure top, and I think that's really lovely.
Yeah.
But I would still rather have the green burst because I'm clearly
a not Victory.
But it's not.
Anyway, you know,
that view though is not that far off a Petrucci Music Man.
The Majesty thing.
Yeah, it's not far off. I think that's a guitar that, from one angle, is a grower and the other one's a shower.
It's Exhibit A of college art projects in my mind.
I don't know. I think that like that, it's stunning.
Again, if I was in Mr. Drew's situation, I'd be thinking, have I had one too many, or is that guitar out of shape? It's just everything's just slightly a bit wonky donkey, isn't it?
I seen a picture of one of these the other day in a different finish. It's called something like wood smoke or smokehouse or something like that. Actually, it looked really nice. But you couldn't see the headstock in the picture.
Other than that horrible green thing that obviously drew James's eye, but some of these nice figured tops I think are very pleasant. But just the body shape, can't get on board. I'm too boring, too predictable with guitar shape.
Right. Okay, I'm going to talk bass for a minute because we can. Blue de Tigers. I mean, I have no idea.
Interested in the bass, or is it just?
I was interested in the bass. And I looked at that and I went, yes.
It does look.
What's that finish called?
De Tiger.
20 something.
Is that silver in the middle?
I think so. Yeah. I think that looks cool. I'm not
going to lie, that's up my street, but I need a maple fretboard.
Yeah, obs.
Of course.
It should be nice, wouldn't it?
That looks wicked.
Yeah.
Chambered ash body, so it's not going to weigh a ton.
Doesn't look massive, does it?
MSRP is $15.99. Our friends in Germany are doing it for $14.99.
Bingo, cashback.
That's euros. So yeah, USD is $15.99. Euros is $14.99. That looks like great bass. I like that a lot.
I believe your pals at Thomann would give you free delivery at that price point as well, James.
That one has a black pick guard in that picture. That looks better.
Oh yes, actually you're right. Yeah, that does look cooler.
I quite like the light one.
I quite like the bass player. Again, hilariously that we both found this. Now, I always thought that Moore was the way Yorkshiremen said more.
On
the Moore. I didn't realise they were quite such a serious player, and for Devin Townsend to be involved with them.
I think it was his involvement that kind of upped their standing. Myself,
yeah.
I
now, for some reason,
it
won't let me play anything because I'm clearly illegitimate. But that thing, the pots on it look awesome. And if it's as built as well as we think it's going to be, if Devin's been using it on tour, he is not.
He's not a dainty chap, is he?
He's not kind to gear. So Darby, my buddy who plays drums for him, says that looks cool. And it's 3 effects. It's not trying to be all things to all people. It is a looper, reverb, and delay. That's cool in my world.
Yeah.
And I like the
fact
the price? It is.
Just had a bit of a brain fade there. I was going to scroll down my screen to try and remember.
It's our friends in Germany are doing it for €269.
It's not crazy for a lot of gear. Look at those bullet points there. There's a lot on board there.
Yeah. 15 delays, 9 reverbs, dual delays, 120 seconds of loop, parallel or series routing, USB-C, true bypass or DSP bypass. That's cool for less than $280.
Yeah, well, you think what we're looking at there, we're going to see in the not too distant, I suspect, the 25th anniversary Line 6 DL4, which is just over £200.
Do you mean that one?
There she be, in a pleasant new colour to celebrate quarter of a century since that thing first came out.
Wow.
And what are they down at in Germany?
In Das Germany for €249. I know which I'd rather have.
Yeah, there we are.
What is that? A keyring?
That's the key ring. Yes.
Does that come with it?
Well, this is the joys of the 25th wedding anniversary, the 25th anniversary edition. They're giving you some nice little novelty freebies with it. So £260 for the 25th wedding anniversary. God, same thing again. Honestly, this is water, not gin. So the Moore at £270, wasn't it? This at the same price point. Keeley Halo, similar, although Thomann have got 70th anniversary edition of that for 235. I don't know why it's cheaper to have it in a different colour, just to celebrate being Thomannish.
Is it that one? Is that the one you mean? No, that's something else.
No.
Sorry, it's something else.
For that price point, you get a lot of effect from that movie, don't you?
They've come a long way since the 20 quid Amazon micro pedals.
Exactly.
Lee's going to buy that.
I'm not sure, mate. I think there's too much going on there for Lee.
No, Lee, it's 3 pedals in one. Lee will love that because that's going to save real estate on his fly rig. Talking about Epiphone.
Yes, there they are. Cynical bugger that I am, I wondered if Epiphone have knocked this together double quick smart and thrown it at Anderton's as fast as they can, because Mick from TPS has been faffing about with an ES type thing with varitones galore. And are they wondering, well, if we can knock one out for less than £1,000, there'll be people with a bit of disposable income that might go for that. That being said, I think it's a very pleasant looking guitar because it's
the only problem is the headstock. If they put the open book headstock, they'd sell a gazillion.
But I think that all looks quite nice, and to have the varitone on it as well.
Yeah,
I could see myself playing one of those.
Have you ever tried the varitone?
The neck though, I've not had a go, Mum. You?
No, never. I'm always kind of fearful of these things with so many options. Remembering the right one, and if you would use it.
Got that one kind of half second before the solo during that one song in the set. Was it 6 or was it 2?
And doing it by feel as well. Yeah, that's it.
Is anybody else going to care?
Yeah, it's just
good point.
Is
it a studio guitar?
Well, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing.
I'd end up just going and playing the Fender Twin really loud to sound like BB King. That would do it for me.
Yeah, just do low rent BB Kings.
Yeah.
Okay. Exhibit B, Your Honour, of my school art project went wrong. What's going on with that shit? It looks like someone's done a birthday cake electric guitar and they want to for it.
It's like Homer Simpson's first Stratocaster.
Sorry, look at the freaking price.
Oh,
dear God, that's given what I opened the show with. That's a decent car. I don't want the wrong guitar for $8,000. I want a nice car for $8,000. And look, I'm sure Mr./Mrs. Castadosa, having taken the enormous step of leaving Fender and setting up their own thing, I'm sure they're wonderful guitars. At $8,000, it bloody well wants to be. But I'm too traditional. I'm too boring. That I could not bring myself to part with any amount of money, let alone $8,000 to play that thing. It's just the wrong shape.
And an $8,000 baritone's a small crowd, isn't it? But I suppose they're not planning on selling too many of them. It'll be, I don't know how many. How many do you reckon they made of them?
One. Well, yeah. Choose from one item. It says right there, doesn't it? Choose from one item.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. There you go.
I don't think it is a one-off, but in terms of the amount of stock that Andertons have got, you can have this one or not.
Yeah, I'll opt for. It's got a chip in it. Look, it's a relict one.
Jesus,
it is relic.
So
Paul will have it. He'll love it.
They want to relict it.
It's relic. He'll love it.
Dear God, madness.
Now. Okay.
Exhibit C, Your Honour. Now, it's good that you're here, actually, Steve, because you lads tried this over in Gear Street.
Yeah.
What did you make of it?
Yeah. It was cool. It was light. That was good. I like lightweight guitars. The neck was like the actual profile of the neck isn't as thin as you would think. I actually remember it being thinner, but someone wrote in the comments of the video the other day that it's actually a C shape. And I thought, that's interesting. But the flat radius is still kind of shreddy. It sounds really good, like the pickups. Yeah. But unfortunately for me, I was getting to play it on like the last day. of Gear Street, and by that time the strings were pretty grotty, you know, from everybody kind of playing it.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel great, but that was just the strings fault. But pretty cool guitar.
Nice.
I like it.
That's because it's a wronger. Carry on.
I'm not sure what it's for.
Yeah, is it a travel guitar? Is it I don't like heavy guitars, nor do I like the way that a real guitar should look. So I want something different.
Well, can I just chip in on this, right? Because it's something I've been thinking about recently quite a bit. So headless guitars, probably because I've seen this one, I've been kind of getting a bit headless curious recently. But I've got specific requirements that I like from my necks. So I like a C-shape, modern C, and a 9.5-inch radius. That's all I want. It's one of the most popular neck profiles that you can get.
Yep.
But for some reason, when it comes to headless guitars, you think, what's the point in a headless guitar, like you're saying, Greg? Is it portability factor, lightweight factor? See, that's a good selling point to me, but why does it always have to be a shreddy guitar as well?
Yeah.
Why can't I have a more sort of I don't know. Yes, traditional appointments and still be lightweight and portable.
Because a Strat body that was headless would look so wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Could you imagine?
Although, is there not the keys will not do one.
Yeah, keys will probably do. Yeah,
I think it's a Delos or something like that. Could be wrong.
I'm not offended by that. I think in that kind of champagne rose gold color looks amazing. You know, they'll do it in pretty much a billion colors because it's Ibanez, Ibanez.
What's the traditionally snappy, catchy naming one for this? Oh, of course,
the QS4W CMMQ series headless guitar in.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yes.
Whilst we're on the subject, there's a new one. Steve, what did you make of the AZ? My initial thought was that looks like essentially a more accessible price point of an Andy Timmons guitar.
Yeah, could be a good way of putting it. I've not tried the Andy Timmons to compare it against, but the AZ, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's definitely more Fendery in terms of the neck profile. Again, it was like sort of last days of Gear Street, so the strings weren't feeling too great, and the action was a bit high than I like it. But other than that, pretty cool guitars. I think Paul preferred the sound of that over the AZ.
Okay.
So there you go.
Right. Cool. Nice. Okay. This thing looks cool.
I've only kind of thrown this in the mix because it's actually in shops now. The lead-in for this seems to have been months since I first saw it appear on Instagram. And there it is, a snip at just 640 quid. But it's got everything. They've gone from your bog standard electro harmonics, it'll do a thing, to this has got all the appointments. Anything you ever wanted a Pog to do, this will now do it. Because that Pog sounds great, isn't it? It's just that thing, and it does it really well. And now they've finally thought, okay, it's not the 70s anymore. What can we do to just make it phenomenal? I'd love to get hold of one of these things and just have a bit of a mess around for a week or two.
The problem is, I think the H90 will do a lot of those noises.
Very probably.
And the H90, although it is a chunk of change more, it's a chunk of change more stuff as well. So you've got to really want to be invested in the Electro-Harmonix kind of authenticity thing to go this route rather than, I mean, and to be fair, I'm on the record as saying the H90 is not the most logical thing to try and program on the actual unit. You do need to plug it in and drive it from software, and at that point it becomes so much easier. I would have a hard time thinking, 600 and nearly 50 quid once you've added shipping for a thing that does what it does, when I could have an H90 for a bit more cash, or even just an H9.
Yeah, true enough.
But I'm sure it's great, but it looks scary. Right, what's one of these? What does it do?
I clocked this. Earthquake just do really nice things anyway. one of Paul's favourite overdrives being the Plumes. This just looks brilliant, and I thought as a companion piece to the Boss video of last week. Was it last week or was it the beginning of this week for the
beginning of this, I think. Yeah,
the SD3 or whatever it was, the slimmed down version of the 9000. For a similar price, the Boss is 169. This is 155. This is a lovely looking thing. 6 presets, tape, analog, and I can't remember what the other type of delay is, but just lovely. I can't read the letters at this zoom level. Anyway, possibly worth a look if you are in the market for a small footprint, but quite a lot in the under the tank, under the hood rather, delay thing. And part of that is because I'm having a conversation with a pal who lives around this neck of the woods of, I need to build a pedal board. And my friend said that really you should have a conversation with Greg. So, well, right. You've scratched that itch that I don't need scratching, and now I've got to start looking at what everybody needs on their pedal board. And yeah, I thought 155 quid for that. There's a lot going for it for not crazy money there, isn't there?
And it's a damn sight smaller effect, physical size than a what we've both got a
TC Electronic Flashback X4.
Yeah, and the X4. That does a lot of what the X4 does without the looping and without the the silly tone print stuff that since the latest version of iPhones and things, no one gets to work anyway.
Yeah. Sounds.
Well done, Behringer. And last but by no means least,
right. When I first sent this link into the group, I thought.
Whenever I see the name of this company, I always think of the Rob Thomas line from Smooth. Man, it's a hot one. Like 7 inches on the middle.
I don't know. I saw this and initially was cynical of, oh God, Corey stuck his name to something else. And if you actually scroll down the page, James, you can see all of the Corey products in one place. There we go. My compressor boost, I've got my pickups, I've got my guitar, and now I've got my wah volume expression and all the rest of it. And then I thought, stop being a cynical bugger. As all three of us are here, we are, as it were, portfolio professionals. If someone's going to chuck us a couple of quid to, pay the mortgage, we're going to do it, aren't we? Corey's just doing the same thing. He's become phenomenally good at doing that thing that he does, and companies are coming to him saying, stick your name on this, will you? If it's good enough, Mr. Myers, we discussed last week.
If Joe Bonamassa had teamed up with a manufacturer, we'd all go,
yes, tone guru and all-round saviour of otherwise they'd have been thrown out in amplifiers.
Yeah. Whereas I actually think that's quite cool.
Does a lot of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in one pedal. As long as it's built well, because everyone forgets with wahs and expressions, is you lean on them quite a lot.
Literally, yes.
I mean, literally. I mean, yeah. If the rocker hinge is not up to snuff, you're going to snap that thing off in seconds. But it looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair play to Corey Wong. Even with these. His signature Strat, it's not like he just chucks his name on stuff. He did some pretty interesting things with that signature model. Was it? It's like a 7/8 the size or something, or is it less than that? He's cut away some of the body. It's smaller, lighter. Yeah. He's got a switch on it that's just like doesn't matter what position you're in, it takes you instantly to position 4. Pretty cool wee mod. Never seen it on anything else.
And it's not like he's crap. He's really bloody good.
Yeah. His YouTube output is brilliant. Some of the live stuff and the rehearsal stuff, different grade.
He's got his thing. He is, the ultimate funkster. Lead on, sir. Lead on.
Yeah, good.
I've heard great things about his pickup set as well. I'd love to try them.
Seymour Duncan wants some to Scotland,
and that's news.
Nice.
Somehow we're already well into the hour and a half. We're into 90 minutes, so let's power on through and go. Here we go.
Right, James. Denver Airport is where all the world's elites are going when the hits the fan. Well, because they want to be relaxed and also able to ski and go and relax with centre wheelchair pillow, presumably.
Okay.
Andy, work was needed, fretboard needed dressing, frets needed polishing, one needed a glance with a crowning file, neck pocket needed 2mm plunging to make the neck an awesome fit. That's it. Barely any work at all, then, Andy. Well done.
Barely touched it.
Well done.
Nice glasses. They are cool, aren't they?
Ah, thank you very much.
Rocker, MGT bodies made in USA and are nitro.
Nice.
There you go. It's not MIJ.
Are you a Dundeonian? What is it?
That's true. Dundonian.
Dundonian. There we are.
Dundonian, that's me, yeah. Well spotted. Is that the accent? Good on you, goofball.
the almost indecipherable accent gave you away, Stevie. Have you reviewed the Jet JT30 yet in gold? Couldn't remember. Also, Greg, video for the SD 3000 delay has begun. Excellent. JT30, Steve.
No, that's the new Jets. No, I got the GS 480. I've unboxed it. That video went up a week or two ago, but I've not done the full review yet.
Right. First thoughts?
I get.
The JS 480. Sorry, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a rosewood fretboard that isn't usually my thing. Jet are getting a wee bit of a stick about these new ones for being more expensive than their other ones. People are used to paying like 200 quid for a Jet. These ones are more expensive. They're kind of being a bit more adventurous with the materials.
Mm-hmm.
But is it worth it? Maybe. The pickups actually sound really good. They're using Alnico's, their own ones, and yeah, I kind of dig them. Probably wouldn't change them.
Nice.
I get really upset when people say to me, "Your review is late," and I go, "No, my review's bang on time because I got the product 2 days before it was released. Doesn't mean that I've had time to live with it and play it or work with it or whatever. I'm not going to put a review out of a thing just to hit a date."
Yeah.
And I know Paul is the same. I mean, generally we do get stuff in advance, but I'm not just going to put it out to hit a date. I've asked for stuff, got it through, and then gone, "Oh, it releases tomorrow." Fuck. Because I haven't had time to run it in and use it and stuff. So sorry if we missed the opening date, but I don't want to get caught up with all the other stuff that's going on launch. Yeah. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Good for you. Goof. Did the Gretsch Double Jet need a strap button repair?
It did, yeah. Have you seen them before? The Gretsch strap buttons, they're quite unique. So like the whole thing comes off. There's a screw in the guitar, and you unscrew the strap button. You put the strap on, and then you screw it back on. Yeah. So I was doing a wedding gig, and I took it to a wedding, and it had taken a dunt that I hadn't realised about. And I went to clang the first chord at a first dance, and it just like fell off. Yeah, so that wasn't good.
What was your first dance?
I was a one-hit wonder from the 70s. I can't remember the name of it. We've not played it again since.
Like wildly guitar part or something.
I fooled around and fell in love. Is that what it's called? Fooled around and fell in love. Can't remember who it's by.
And in terms of that chord that you were going for, was it like nothing else could be heard and horrible sound? Or
no, I was yeah, it was at the very start. So luckily we just did a wee quick restart and it was all good.
Brilliant.
Nothing
I did a wedding gig with the guitar held, or the strap button and strap held onto the telly with gaffer tape once.
Gaffer tape.
I always roll a gaffer tape to a gig.
Yeah, it's got me down.
But Steve, what you have to realise is that in Greg's former life, he used to get industrial level gaffer tape that was this thick.
Yes, good time.
I mean, if he forgot his black trousers to a gig, he just wrapped his legs in black gaffer.
Boy, imagine getting those strides off at the end of the night.
Yeah, just who needs to wax?
Yes, quite. Yeah. I can get those Justin Hawkins notes again.
It reminded me. You said the strap button fell off. A friend of Greg and mine was at a New Year's Eve gig in the Middle East, and halfway through the third song, keyboard player, and the X-ray went and just took the keyboards out. And the comedy moment was him stood there going,
Yeah.
what he should have done is turned to the camera and gone.
Brilliant. Brilliant. It was just a second where his hands were still in position. He was playing air keyboard.
I mean, I don't think he was playing Jump at the time, but
Yeah, thank goodness. We'll have to find that for next week. Poo Ninja, hello. Love all my Harley Bentons except the HP 40 SIG. I like the roasted neck, just not the pickups. Roasted necks feel extra silky, in my opinion. In messaging and chatting about this with Paul earlier in the week, he was still raving about that. What was it, £6.50 T-shirt one that they sent you, lads? I don't know how they do it. Change from 150 quid for a guitar that Mr. Snobby, I like my Fender Custom Shops, thinks, yeah, it's great, it's really good. And he enjoys those pickups as well.
We tried some great guitars from out there in Das, Germany at Thomann. We tried some great guitars. Hang on. So this is 300 quid.
It's a golden age we're living in. The Dog and Duck in Shrewsbury. That pedal show needs shut down. Needs to be shut down?
Needs shut down. Shut down. Summer in the city.
There we are. Magic. It just slipped in. Oh, you devil, sir. You devil. Let's move on. Do they have VU meters on EM?
On them.
On them. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry.
It's probably one of the previous pedals or amps. Oh, it'll be the Ashdown amps. That's what.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
Or someone has seen that they've just re-released the Spinal Tap guitar, which had a notes per.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Per second. I don't think they have a VU meter on them because that's very bass player.
Effects loop with an effects drive level on the Ashdowns.
Nice.
Mm.
There we go. Head versions anyway. Fair enough. Owen's back. Was looking at the Epiphone Carina Explorer on Thomann today. Serious case of gas. Yes. Well, if you go to Thomann via one of the Studio Rats links, then the Thomann overlords were pleased with their foot soldiers.
It sounds totally cheesy and like we're setting it up. But if you are looking at something like that, please do let us know, and we'll send you a link that will get you a bit of a lot of love, should we say?
Nice.
I'm going to go to this one. It's going to be a long night, boys. I mean, I might need to go to the fridge and get another beer in a minute. Keep going, Greg.
Beveled body on the Gibson Victory is very PRS.
It is very PRS. Oh, I'm getting waved at. Go to the next one. Here we go.
Yeah, right. Apparently, according to my Alexa, that song is by Alvin Bishop. Is that ringing bells, Steve?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Well done, mate.
Well done, Gary. Well done, Alexa.
Okay, we are, our trio is about to become a quartet. Please welcome on to the show. No, it's not Mr. Drew. No.
It's not Lee, is it?
No, it's not. Technically, it's about to become a quintet, but one of them's got more hair than the lot of you. Please welcome Mr. Al Lindsay.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice. Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are you doing?
How are we, chaps?
All good, all good.
Good. How you doing?
We're at home. Got the nice new.
How are we?
All is well. All is well.
Oh, we got some serious delay going on there, Al. I think your ears are letting you down.
I'm doing well, but this isn't.
We know.
Was it a Two Ronnies sketch where they answered the previous question and it all made sense?
Pardon?
1 week on Thursday.
Let me work this one out.
Said the sound engineer.
Pardon? What?
Go with Al.
Oh dear.
2K is too much. Let me dial you back.
Oh,
That's
I'm going to kick him out. And he's.
Yeah.
Are we going to kick him out? And we have. Yeah, he's
Let's
going
do
to come back.
Oh no.
meantime, because time's getting on.
Yes. Boom.
Nice to see you.
There you go. James, you might remember my keyboard stand collapse at one of our Ipswich gigs.
I do. So Aggo used to run. So Aggo was keyboard player in my old band. But I mean, God, a million bands ago it feels like, and he had a SEC 24/2 desk.
Right.
Because even then we believed in a million channels of stuff because we can and running everything in stereo. And he had one of those very 80s A-frame keyboard stands. It's straight out of the Jan Hammer school of keyboards. And
Yes.
halfway, sort of half an hour before the end of the set, the bottom level just went. Everything else was on long cables except the two keyboards, which just went straight out of the desk. And he was like, can't hear anything.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Dear. Thanks back. Love your style, glasses, hat, colours, etc. Super smooth, my fashion hero. Steve.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Trailblazing as ever.
To be fair, you got to Dundee. Everyone's dressed like that.
That's it.
True fact.
I'm fairly subdued.
Is it Alvin Bishop or is it Elvin Bishop?
Oh, that's correct. It's Elvin. That's right.
There we go.
Thanks, Jed.
Right. Well, believe it or not, we've got to the bottom. We've got to the bottom of this, quite literally. But I don't want to not be around for Al. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. Stupid comments of the week. Now, strictly speaking, this was not actually on our channel.
This is true.
And normally I wouldn't jump in with something quite so cheap. But I couldn't help myself. This was on one of the Tonex forums from a user who, let's just call him Ray. And it says, I'm trying to get my Tonex 1 to sound more full with clean sounds. It sounds good, just a bit thin. However, I don't want it to sound bassy. Any advice? So I put, try turning the bass down. And that, stupid comment of the week. So I'm not sure if it was me being funny or not funny. I don't care. It was ignored by the masses and everyone else came back with sensible stuff. And once again, I don't care.
Sometimes it's just easy to kick a puppy.
It sounds like Al's doing that because he hasn't appeared again.
Has he not come back?
But hang on, I'll dial back in next week. Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
That's what he said.
That's the problem, you see, that up north, where it's grim and cold, the electric supply is a bit thin on the ground. So,
right. And yet Steve's made it, and he's another good 300 miles further north.
Steve's picking it all up from the north of England, and he's using that quota in Scotland.
Is that because there's a border?
That's what it is.
There's a border in the way.
There's that
Must
wall.
It was officially winter today in Scotland. Well, it felt like it anyway. Too late for weather chat.
We were saying that the discussion began to be had about turning the heating on in this house today, but swiftly kicked into touch, though. We'll give it a few more weeks. Remember, last year it was the 1st of October on the nose. I finally relented and let her indoors put the heating on.
But was she wearing a T-shirt at the time?
No. I'd insisted that everybody just put jumpers on before I put the heating on.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. There we are. Oh, Gary, here we go. Have you guys got any band suggestions? The more under the radar, the better. Anybody off the top of your heads, chaps?
So at the moment, my musical tastes are being certainly in the car when I actually get to listen to anything. Although I am doing a 6-hour round trip journey tomorrow, which will be lovely because I'll get to put some tunes that I want to listen to. I'm being subjected to, in no particular order, Imagine Dragons.
Right.
Got no problem with that. a new artist to me that I was not aware of, and you have to be quite careful with the shouty, sweary little people. Olivia Rodrigo, who are quite getting into her stuff. And anything on the Frozen soundtrack is all I get to listen to at the moment.
Fair play. I'm having a gander. There's nothing. Try.
This came to me. Sorry, go on.
A chap called Jay Stapley, Stapley.
Good shout.
He replaced Eric Clapton in Roger Waters' touring band a while ago, years ago. Really good player. Done a lot of stuff in Germany with various different artists, and just writes some nice songs and very tasteful guitar playing on it as well. Not new by any stretch, but very, very cultured guitar playing. Very enjoyable.
Once again, our quartet, our trio is about to become a quartet, but not with Al. Please welcome Matt to the show.
Hello,
Matt.
how are you?
Hello, sir.
Excellent. I got a question for the three of you.
Here we go.
So, this, yeah, we go. This is my 1991 Esquire Strat,
Right.
which is a different instrument to what I tend to have these days. This was when I was, 19, 20 or something when I bought this, and money was a problem. And then I've got, on the subject of what you were talking about earlier, I've got a 66 Gibson there, so an old 355.
Yeah.
And then over here, I've got a master-built Gretsch.
Nice.
Nice.
And actually, that one there is a Stephen Stern, and it plays so well. So I've gone slightly out of order here, but you were talking about whether to have a vintage guitar or a master built, and I have to say, if you go for a master built, they play incredibly, and quite topically. I think Noel Gallagher said on that pedal show that he had a 61 of the guitar that I've got behind me, and then he was in France, and somebody there had got the very next serial number of the same guitar.
Wow.
And he tried it, and it was awful.
Like Spanish.
So, it just goes to show, doesn't it? And my question with this was that, this is a Squire, but it sounds fine. But the action and everything on it is like, it's really high. And I'm kind of thinking, well, it's 30 years old now, this guitar. So I'm thinking, should I get rid of it and buy, as I would normally, like a custom shop or something like that? Or actually, because, the wood on it's really nice to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a great feel to it. What do you think to do in terms of making it more playable? Discuss.
It's funny. It's age-wise, it's funny you say that. I remember my high school, not particularly high-achieving high school, local comprehensive. And they spent some money on some instruments and bought a Kestrel drum kit and a Sun Mustang 15-watt amp.
Yeah.
But they bought a not Fiesta red, but that kind of deeper red Squire Strat. And I remember thinking at the time, hang on, I've got a couple of buddies who've got proper Strats. Now, I couldn't tell you if they were Japanese, Mexican, whatever. Proper Strats with a Fender logo. I went, this Squire thing sounds way better through their Marshall valve state or their Fender something.
Yeah.
And it plays way better. And then obviously years later, I discovered that actually some Squires were really good guitars.
Mm.
Now there's a fair chance that, for a 90s-ish Squire, you might have a real gem. and it might be worth a couple of quid taking it to someone who knows what them's is doing with setting up. I'm sure you know your onions when it comes to setups and stuff, Matt, but I'm a great believer in occasionally taking it to someone who really knows what they're doing. And you might have one of those. You might have one of those guitars. You just go, I don't want it. It's not worth getting rid of, unless you need the space in the rack.
Yep.
For one more guitar, it's just probably not worth getting rid of because you're not going to make any money on it because it's a Squire.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like you say, I mean, I think it is it's a Japanese one, and it's funny how they've kind of become quite fashionable.
Yeah.
But the neck, because I'm kind of used to vintage necks because of that one, and I've played a few other vintage guitars. This one kind of sort of starts out. I mean, it's a poly neck. It's not the nitro neck, but it's got that kind of feel to it because it's over 30 years old.
Yeah.
So So it's so it's nice. It's just the action on it's really high. But like you say, I think if I took it to Bonners or somebody that really knew what they were doing and said, look, can you just make this as playable as you can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were at Bonners, when Paul and I went to Bonners, they had a Squire there, and I've forgotten his name. God, he's not with them anymore, sadly. But their tech made this Squire into a guitar that Paul said, if you told me this was a custom shop,
I can remember that. Yeah.
I would not be able to tell the difference. I can't remember his name. I've forgotten it for the life of me, which is terrible, but that's what...
Whilst you're trying to remember that, I will try and tie the show together with two other references that we made earlier. Number one, Jay Stapley, that I was talking about a minute ago about things to listen to, has toured the world with a made in Japan Fender Strat. And number two, you referenced it yourself, Matt, the TPS boys recently had Mr. Steve Rothery on, who plays Squire Strat. Keep hold of it. Spend 150 quid getting someone who really knows how to set a guitar to set it up.
Yeah.
I'd just throw into the hat as well. This isn't a recommendation, just a suggestion and a wee story. I just recently got a Jet guitar refretted with stainless steel frets from a guy, Agrajag Guitars. And man, the fretwork on this is unbelievable. It'll set you back about 300 quid, but man, it was worth every single penny.
The cost of a
setup
Jet.
and I mean, I've already put the cost of a Jet guitar into that Jet guitar anyway, so this is like another Jet into that. But in terms of the fretwork and worth checking out.
Another case in point. At one stage, I had 3 Telecasters. I had the white American 60th anniversary one. I bought this thing at an auction, Nashville Telly, made in Mexico, and I got the Japanese thin line. Paul and I, as much as I wanted to keep the white American 60th anniversary, this is a better guitar. It's a much better guitar. Gunn did his magic. We changed the bridge out for a compensated bridge. This is a better guitar, and it's in resale value, nothing like the same as the white American 60th anniversary. That's a better guitar, so I kept it, and the other one's gone.
Yeah.
There's unfortunately, Matt, there is no right and wrong answer here. It's down to
no.
Do I need the space in the rack? If the answer is no, can I throw 150 quid at it, getting it set up and made into possibly the Strat that you always wanted?
Well, I mean, the thing is, ironically, I think I'd like a really nice telly. I've always struggled to find one that I really like, but that would kind of come ahead of the Strat. But I'm recording at the moment. Ironically, on the track that I'm recording, it's like a re-record, and the Strat is what I need for that particular part. But you've really confirmed exactly what I thought, and I actually, I played on that was on videos on MTV and stuff, and you just sort of think, it's got so much. There's so much history behind that you kind of I don't want to get rid of it.
You want to part with it? No, I
No,
keep it.
no.
And then
on
there's the argument that if you do something to it, like you change a pickup or you change the frets for stainless steel or whatever, you're not destroying your loved one's inheritance.
No. No, you're absolutely right. And on the amplifiers thing, I've got down here, I'm trying to get the camera right so you can you see that there?
Yeah.
So that's a little Vibrachamp. It's an old one, that's 66 as well, but you can get the silver face ones are exactly the same circuit as that, and you can pick them up for about, it's not cheap, but maybe 600 or 700 quid, whereas they're twice that because it's a black face, but they'll sound the same and they're quiet. And if you want to have that, you know, instantaneous feel under your fingers with a valve amp quietly inside, you honestly can't go wrong with one of those.
Yeah.
In actual fact, they I've forgotten the name of the guy that did it now. Was it Paul Riviera in the 80s did Defender stuff?
Yeah.
You can get a 1980s Champ, and they'll be cheaper still, and exactly the same deal. So
Yeah. He used a lot of the original circuits, didn't he?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. He did. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
That Rivera Pubster I had was a wicked little amp.
Yes. Yeah.
Another one I should never have sold, but did because I'm an idiot.
At least you got more than 20 quid for it that time.
Yes.
Sorry, man. I keep sticking a boot in with that, but
Yeah. Fair enough.
reminding us that you let that go 20
I'll
quid.
just stick the boot in with this.
They are looking shaky, Jeff. You're absolutely right, mate.
Al's going to say...
It's the Yorkshire tea. Lovely cheese, Gromit.
Yes. Okay, last one, and this will be the last one for the night. And it should say...
Thoughts on the SE V7 mic over the SM48? Should that not be 58?
58, yes, it should be 58.
Yes.
This
is very much jivey territory, and in the absence of Paul, I'll do this.
There's a reason the SM58 is the microphone it is. They're indestructible. They're synonymous. If someone says, draw a microphone to a child, then fair chance the child draws something that looks like an SM58. Are they the greatest microphones in the world? No. Are there better out there for less money? Yes. Do you still want an SM58? Yes.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen,
I was going to say, actually, the tree was recorded on an SM58 by Bono in the control room. So there you go.
There are plenty. Andy Lennox recorded Sweet Dreams, I think, was done on a 58 in the control room.
Yeah.
There are plenty of recordings that have been done on 58. There are plenty of recordings that have been done on way worse microphones than that have sold way more copies and radio play listens than stuff that I've got in here. Okay, here's one for you, boys. Which is the right microphone? It's really easy.
The one you're going to use?
The one you've got to hand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's the answer. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
There's more people on screen than watching the screen.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I'd like to thank my old buddy, old pal, Mr. Greg, Larry North, Adventures in Gearland. Steve Cassidy, all the way from Bonnie, Scotland, has joined us. And I promise I will never do that impression or that terrible accent ever again.
Oh, please do.
Steve, what's your channel for everybody, just in case they've been under a rock and not found you yet?
So it's Steve Cassidy with a guitar after it. Steve Cassidy guitar.
Good man. Well done.
Give us a shout for yours as well, please.
Distance and Studios.
Excellent.
Greg, while we're there, give us a shout for yours.
Adventures in Gearland still dormant until the studio's finished. We'll get there. We'll get there.
He's got some bricks now, at least. a lot of bricks.
The long and winding road.
You could not believe, boys and girls, how much it matters to everyone who's got a YouTube channel. So hence the TSI Driving Talks Tech thing. Paul and I are ebbing ever closer to Paul getting that magical play button that he so lusts after. I won't get it because I just won't. Was it 94 and a bit?
I did a tick. I did a thumbs up. It's 92,500 as it stands.
Yeah.
Wow.
The boys will get there quicker if you give it a thumbs up tonight, please. Anybody that's watching, even if you didn't enjoy it, it's not going to make that much difference, is it?
We don't. Whether you enjoyed it or not, we don't care.
Ending the YouTube algorithm monkeys off.
Yes. So thanks to Greg, thanks to Steve, thanks to Matt. We will see
Might be
you
back next week.
Who
knows?
I mean, who knows what he's going to fake next week? I'm not even going to go there. It's just safer not to. Someone will see you next week, back with the same old guff. So take care, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you very soon. Good night.